Hello and welcome. Industry has been feeling despondent and gloomy for a while now, but should it feel so? Not because the markets have suddenly looked up and the rupee has improved its position, but there are more fundamental reasons for India to feel a little more optimistic. Joining me to talk about that, the ray of optimism as opposed to pessimism, is R. Mukundan, Managing Director of Tata Chemicals. Mukundan, thank you very much for speaking with us. So you're also the President of the Western region of the CII, so you have an industry hat. But let me pose a manufacturing question to you. How have things been in the last 1 year? In all this talk of despondency, but as a manufacturer, someone who's out there producing for industry as well as selling to consumers.
I think if you look at it, I think it's right to say that bulk of the industry has been through pretty tough times. There's no doubt about it. It's tougher than before. But I think this industry goes in a cycle, right? So you go through good times and you go through tough times. That separates the men from boys, and you really know who's going to stand the long time. I think that's one facet of any economic cycle. Having said that, I certainly believe that we probably are at the bottom. We are very close to it, if not at it, and the things can only improve going forward. There will be increased pressure on costs, mainly coming out of the financing costs going up. It is going to happen with the taper coming in by December, if not now. After you factor all that in, the general trends for the economy are going to be buoyant. Number one, we've got a good monsoon. Elections are going to get underway, and we will have some, let's say, some kind of a governance at the center, and the states, more or less, 4 states will probably decide in a very decisive manner. So again, there'll be government to drive the policy issues forward. On top of that, US is a big economic driver. It is coming out of its bad days into good days, and that's going to be
US,
great.
UK, Europe, everything.
Great engine, and Europe has probably bottomed out, if not turned up. And we know that after German elections are through, we probably are going to see a bit more uptick. And also, China has been chugging along fine. So India can't be an island where things don't work out. We have a youthful population. We are rapidly urbanizing population. All these should give us signs of hope and moving forward. 2-3 areas we need to still address. Address issues related to infrastructure. We still need to take bold steps in those areas. We need to fix some of the issues related to serious policy issues with approvals and guidelines, which have blocked many of the big projects from taking shape. These will happen in my view. I remain very optimistic. I'm a policy optimist.
So the big project is an interesting point. I talk to a lot of people who are, let's say, in steel, power, telecom. And we've seen how visibly they've been impacted, maybe mining. You're somewhere a notch below that, right? You're manufacturing, but it's not giant like a steel plant or a petrochemical plant. How have things been for you? Have you been feeling the same kind of pressures?
In terms of, we sell to consumers, we sell to the farmers, and we also sell to industries. When you look at the farm demand as well as the consumer demand, that's been growing at a nice, easy clip. We haven't seen any dip in that. Farm demand took a dip a year ago with weak monsoon, but this year again it's picked up. So clearly, I think 2 sectors we operate are having positive momentum. We've had a bit of weakness on the industry side, mainly from the real estate and automotive sectors. Obviously, this can't be a permanent state of affairs. As other pieces of economy start kicking up, I think these pieces also should move in the right direction. All signs are that we probably are at the bottom end of the curve, and we are probably going to improve going forward.
So where are you as a company in terms of investment cycle, in terms of fresh capacity?
In terms of investment cycle, if you look at it, we have very clearly invested in overseas to bring the material which India needs. That's going to continue going forward. Within India, we're investing a lot more into innovation and in brands. Our belief is that as India develops and moves forward, consumers are going to become more brand conscious. Consumers are going to move into more packaged products and branded projects, and that's a great area for investment. In addition to that, we are also investing a lot in innovation and knowledge through Innovation Center and building new products and new technologies. Tata Swatch is a great example of that kind of a product, and we are investing in nutraceutical plant in Chennai. So all these are new investments which are going to continue to grow apace and move ahead.
So what's common to these? The Swatch and the salt, of course, is well known and it's been around for a while. Swatch it's like a nano kind of product, right? In
terms of, if you look at it, we've been emphasizing on 2 strands of growth. One is to have a consumer-led growth, which is in the area of packaged products, where we had salt, we now have launched pulses. We'll be launching few other essentials which you need in kitchen, food and nutrition over a period of time, which will be packaged and branded. In addition to that, we are also looking at innovation and knowledge. And that's where Swatch fits in. It uses nanotechnology. Nutraceutical, again, a wellness product which is coming out of our biotechnology lab, will be coming to production stream maybe in the month of December. So we are going to see some of these things coming into play.
So you're becoming more of a foods company, if not have become already.
I would say foods and materials, both. We also play in the material space. We will continue to play in the material space. So it's going to be nutrition and materials, both. Both are the two key themes which tend to underpin the future direction.
Right. So you said that you're expecting things to turn around. We're reaching the point where the worst could get over. How does that affect, or how will it affect things on the consumption side? Do you feel
consumption growth will continue more or less, in my view? I think the issue for us is going to be the investment cycle. When does the investment cycle broadly kick in? That's going to take another 24 months because investment is a lot of issues of investment are not just numbers. It's an issue of faith and confidence. While there's a general confidence in the Indian industry, I think a lot of people are having issues with their balance sheet, with their state of finances, and I think they need to sort of rebalance that. It's going to take them anything around 24 months to sort of. So we got to be patient with that, but. Initially, you will see small investments, which will be more like debottlenecking, getting capacities up at low costs, which will be the ones which will come into play. The big ones will follow a little later.
Right. So manufacturing as a share of GDP is very low in India. It's 16%. We are obviously not at the level we should be if we want to be somewhere, right? And there is the China example and other examples. What should we do about it? Very general question, but
fundamentally, in my view, I think we cannot be a large economy with low manufacturing base. It is completely unsustainable. We set out all the right policies and policy framework for giving impetus to manufacturing. The national manufacturing zones, which were set up by the government, NMZs, they were all steps in the right direction. Where we have failed is not on formulating the policy. It's been in the implementation and rollout, which we've been found wanting, and execution is the key. So if you dust up the old policy papers and say, no, I'm going to execute them, I think it'll have the right impact. Right. And also, I think we must give credit to investors and not put roadblocks. I think end of the day, there's a new term which we are seeing now called green tape, just like red tape. And files getting caught between various ministries, it's of nobody's benefit. End of the day, an investor is trying to create jobs here. End of the day, investor is not just trying to make money, profits. He's also trying to create several positive social impact. And we must appreciate that. And government must make the ease of doing business in India very positive. Right. I think that's a key issue.
Right. So last question, I mean, demographics is something that interests you. I mean, and obviously also because you're selling to that demographic or future young demographic. Is it a concern that we may not be able to create the kind of jobs in numbers to meet the demand of this rapidly growing demographic?
Certainly, it's a big concern. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we need to skill our population well. If they are not skilled, they won't even be ready for the jobs, even if there's a market. Right. Secondly, I think after skilling them, we have to create the right environment for investors to come and invest and create those jobs. So both go hand in hand. I think both these policies need to play. So from the industry side and from the government side, the whole issue of National Skill Development Corporation, the whole framework which has been developed, I think is the right set of framework to skill the people. At the same time, support that with manufacturing and growth of service industry. Both these industries need to grow at a more rapid pace. We have to move the people from agriculture to industry and service sector, and that's the key challenge going forward. And that will be aided by urbanization, which is why urbanization is a big deal in India. So all these three elements have to play together.
Right. R. Mukundan, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.